Hello, everyone. It's Kenna here again, and I'm going to work through some more of the widgets with you for the HR professional development course. We have a couple widgets that I'm getting ready to make here, so I thought I'd pop on and just kind of walk you through my process. So I am now working in the external competitiveness and market influence module. And we have two different PowerPoints that go with this one. So both of these, and I've been looking through and kind of picking and tailoring the information that I want to include into the different widgets that we're going to make in Nobly. So first off, what I've kind of mapped out here is I would like to make a widget about external competitiveness, a widget about pay level and pay form, and then maybe something to do with trends. This isn't set in stone or anything, and it will kind of depend what types of widgets I choose and how the information can best be presented to students because, sometimes students may not want a widget that's very long. We aim to keep them pretty short so that we keep the students' attention. But anyway, we can get into that. So for this first one, we're going to kind of talk about external competitiveness. This one is really important because, as you know, if somebody goes to apply for a job and they see the salary and that salary is considerably less than what they could make working somewhere else, or if the benefits are not great, or, if there are any rewards that really are not up to standard or at least competitive with what they could get at a competitor, then that may turn candidates away and they may go seek employment somewhere else. That's just a little bit of background for you if you don't already know what we're talking about here. So for this one, I believe I'm going to include this slide, this next slide, what is it? External competitiveness, and probably up from slides 2 to 5. And I might break it up just a little bit too. So for this one, I am actually going to include, let's see, what do I want? Gallery or with arrows or thumbnails? I think I'll do an arrows gallery for this one. So the difference between the galleries that are offered on Nobly are how they show up once you actually have content in there. There are 3 types that Nobly has. There's a gallery with arrows, which is the one I chose, and it will have one image and then text under it. And then, so almost like a caption, but you can put a really good amount of text under it, actually. The next here is the carousel gallery, and it's the same type of thing, but the arrows are, well, instead of just showing one image at a time, it is almost like a carousel. So you can see the main image in the caption, but then on the right and left sides, you can also see the next image, like a portion of it. I don't really love this one, so I usually don't use it. But it is still a really cool tool as well. And the next one that they have is the thumbnail gallery. So the same type of thing, it will have the main image and then a caption or text under it. But to actually switch between the images, there are these little squares that give you a preview of all of the images, and then you just click on the squares to go to the different content pieces. I do really like thumbnails as well, but I also think it's a little bit less intuitive than the arrows. So sometimes students may not see that they need to click the little boxes to go to the next image. So, but I may end up throwing one of those in there as well. We'll see. And also I can show you how it will show up after we build this out, just so you can see the difference between all of them. Okay, so first, external competitiveness. Looks like I didn't finish typing this. Competitiveness. Let's add an introduction. External competitiveness is an important factor of your total rewards strategy, remaining connected to the external market and ensuring that your compensation is competitive will allow you to attract and retain talent. Okay, we can just leave that as that, and I can always come in and adjust it later. So the first one we have here is just, looks like I got signed out of my Grammarly. We all know that I need that because sometimes I can't remember how to type. So this question here is kind of just like an intro to the information. It's asking the students this rhetorical question. The question we have to answer is why. Why do people opt for jobs that have similar KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities, or knowledge, skills, attitudes, whichever you prefer? And if it is a similar position, why do employees go somewhere else, right? So all good questions. And I know one thing that I wanted to show you here. So it's really cool whenever you have media that you want to add to a course, you can paste a URL. If it's a YouTube video or an image you want to access from the web, you can upload it from your computer. You can access your content manager. So you can access anything that's already been uploaded or used. So that's really nice if you're going to use the same image or video in multiple places. But then there's also stock assets, which I love because it just makes it really easy to pop an asset in here. So let's type in interview and see what comes up. These look pretty good here. Let's see. I kind of like this one here. So we're just going to go ahead and select that one and click add. And then it will automatically pop it into your gallery. So that's cool. Already got that one done. So next is what is external competitiveness? And then here, I'm just going to leave out this McDonald's versus In-N-Out, just in case people are not familiar with those businesses. I'm sure most people are, but it is all right. So, and I also forgot I need to be adding these little markers here so that students know what slide they're on. Again, this is just another way that we put in or just communicate with students how long going through this may take and what they should expect. Let's see. And I'm just going to put in those two there. I think examples are good, but I'm sure that these examples are also outdated. If you work in HR, I'm sure you know what ONET Online is. If you don't, ONET Online is a really cool tool where you can look up statistics about different types of jobs. You can learn about what different positions make as far as salary. On average, you can learn about what types of different skills are involved with different professions, which professions and positions are on the rise, where there are more job openings for those types of things. So it's a really cool site and I recommend it to a lot of people. I don't know if I want to. I'll just put this here. Should we say you can compare salary rates per location? Oh, I spelled this wrong. onetonline.org. Let's see. Okay. So what I'm going to do here too, since I'm adding a link, is I'll just put a link and boom, inserted the link. And when the gallery is finished, we'll go ahead and go through it. Like I said, I'll show you what all the different galleries look like, and we will be able to see what that looks like in general with the URL added. Okay, and I forgot again to add that, and it's bolded and I do not want it bolded. So 4 out of 4. This was a pretty short gallery, which is okay. I didn't want too much information here at a time. So I went ahead and copied that over. I'm going to also add some periods on these sentences. I can see that there are missing, which I do not really care for if I can remember to fix it. Okay, those I'm going to scooch and those I'm going to scooch or indent. Bold that. Okay, let me just make sure that I added periods where needed. Yep. Okay, this looks really good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is add the media again. For this one, I'm going to type in research and see what comes up here. I kind of like this one with the hands and all the graphs. That caption talked about the size of the pie, so that's kind of helpful. The market rate, we could type in rates and see what comes up. You kind of have to be a little bit, I kind of like the money actually. You know what, maybe we'll do money for the next one. Let's see that. So I like the rates on this one. It's like a little line graph there, and we're gonna type it in again and then do the money. The hand that was holding the money, I think that could be helpful. Kind of like to do things that are intuitive for whatever the caption is. That way it kind of connects to the topic. You know, you don't want to do some random picture. I will say too, sometimes the stock assets do not have what I'm looking for. In that case, I'll put in, we have another service that we work with, and I'll pull images from there. The other thing that I want to mention is you kind of do want to decide how you're going to do the graphics. I know that seems pretty like a simple idea. For some of our professional development courses, we've done more like isometric type of graphics that are like illustrated instead of actual stock like photos. I think that looks really good as well, but it's good to be intentional about that and keep that same theme throughout. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as well before you start. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to maximize the screen here. And I know I mentioned before we have a professional development theme that we apply to all of our widgets. So I'll preview this for you so you can see what it looks like. So this is the gallery with the arrows, and this is how it will show up when students access it. It has the title, the introduction information, and then students can click the arrows to go through the content. Let me change this to a carousel. And this is the one I was talking about where you can kind of preview the picture on the right and left sides. I will say this one's not my favorite, but it's also not a bad option either. It can definitely look nice, I think. And it does tell the students that they need to click to view the next thing. So that part is helpful. And then I'll also show you thumbnails. And one thing I do want to add is I think thumbnails looks very nice with isometric graphics. But again, it's the image and the text, and then down here on the bottom, the student has to click the different boxes to see all of the different items. So I think that can look really nice if you have some like coordinating isometric images there. I think it can be the appearance is really great, but again, that really just depends on how you decide to design. So for this one, I am going to go ahead and change it back to arrows because that's how I want to run with this. And yeah, so I think that's all that I have for you today. I'm still just working on the widgets for this course. I hope that was helpful and that it was engaging and informational for you. But anyway, my name is Kenna, and I hope to see you again soon.